Taigi was sad. Gimadadendam. Taigi was cross. Inishkatse. Taigi thought, this reserve is no place for me in my canoe. I was meant for bigger things since the invaders have come. Perhaps you would not be so cross if you went paddling, said her mother. Taigi spent some time paddling and then shared her heart for knowing bigger things at the tribal council. She wanted to know how to further her education, where she fit within the changing ways of her people and the invaders' influence. The council was unable to answer her questions. They went into the sweat lodge to ponder her quest. The council decided her grandfather and father would give her permission to leave the reserve as her rite of passage. Paddle, my little moon, said her father. The community carried Taigi's canoe to the laughing brook that started high in the hills. The elders looked on and said, "May you have eyes to see and the strength to understand." It was spring, and the brook was full to the brim with its water. And the water moved in a hurry, as all things move in a hurry when it is spring. Taigi was in a hurry too. "Come back, Taigi! Come back!" cried her mother, as the hurrying, brimful brook carried the canoe downstream. "Not I," thought Taigi. "Not I. This is the life for me." All that day, Taigi paddled along with the brook, past the meadows filled with cowsnips, past the woman washing clothes on the bank, past the woods. She stopped to rest her arms at a fur trading post. Some men came to the brook to drink. They stood in the cool water with bottles in hand, and it was fun to watch them bump into each other's noses. It was fun to watch them drink. A man invited Taigi to drink from the bottle instead of the brook's cooled water. She was frightened. That was not fun. Night came, and with it the moon. There was nothing to see but the quiet trees. Suddenly an owl called out, "Hoot! Hoot!" Taigi was scared and lonely. She wished she could see the smiling face of her grandmother. When morning came, Taigi was cross, hinishkatse, instead of frightened. "I was meant for bigger things. But which way am I to go?" she said. The Great Spirit spoke upon the wind. Taigi responded, "Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength to fight my greatest enemy, the invaders." The wind blew her towards the only way to go, and that was with the running water where two brooks met to form a small river. And with the river paddled Taigi and her birch bark canoe. She was amazed when passing villages set up by the invading men. "People built villages at the edge of my river?" said Taigi. "Where are all the trees, Great Spirit?" Once Taigi's river joined a small one jammed with logs. Here were men in heavy jackets and great boots walking about the floating logs, trying to pry them free. "Ani! Hello! Let me through!" demanded Taigi. But the men paid no attention to her. Taigi and her canoe bumped along with the jolstering log. "This is a fine river," said Taigi, "but it's very busy and very big for me." The river moved through big towns now instead of villages. Taigi was bewildered when she paddled under a bridge. "My river is so wide and deep, and the bridges over it are very wide. Why must invaders build bridges to cross my beautiful river?" The river got deeper and deeper. The river moved faster and faster. I feel like an eagle flying instead of a girl in a canoe, said an overwhelmed Taigi as she hurried along. She was heartbroken when she passed an old sawmill with its water wheel. But high in the hills and mountains, the winter snow melted. Water filled the brooks and rushed into small rivers. Taigi's mother began to wonder if her daughter would return. She knew troubled water could strengthen or drown a person. "There is too much water in this river," said Taigi as her canoe pitched and tossed in the waves. "What a flood there will be!" Soon great armies of men came to save the fields and farms from the rushing water. Taigi wondered why nobody saved her tribe or their land from the rushing invaders. They only wanted to take what was not theirs. Her thoughts tossed to and fro. The men built sandbags at the edge of the river. Higher went the river. Higher went the sandbags. At last the water rose no more. The flood water rushed on to the sea, and Taigi's canoe raced along with the flood. On went the river to the sea. At last Taigi paddled into a big city. Here the river widened, and all about were docks and wharfs. Oh, it was a busy place and a noisy place. The cranes groaned as they swung the cargoes into great ships. The porters shouted as they carried suitcases and boxes on board. Horses stamped and the truck motors roared. Streetcars clanged and people shouted. Taigi approached the Canadian Coast Guard ship to ask for directions, but nobody could hear her. "Oh, oh," cried Taigi when she saw the looming sea. "There's no beginning and there's no end to the sea. I wish I had the council to guide me." Just as Taigi and her canoe passed the last piece of land, the Great Spirit spoke above the noise of the city. "Taigi, you have learnt your lessons in every leaf and rock. You have strength to change what was meant to keep your people weak, uneducated, and dependent on foreign invaders. You have had many adventures down the river and must now return upstream. Share, teach of new beginnings with no end. Return, little moon." At the edge of the laughing brook, Taigi's mother saw a canoe slowly heading towards the First Nation. She cried out, "Taigi, your name speaks truth. Returning moon, you are home to light the way in these troubling waters." Taigi is back on her First Nation. She speaks with wisdom, passion, and direction alongside council members from rivers far and wide. This is the place where new beginnings will flow like water, says Taigi, and this is the life for me.